On March 25th, Council Member Vickie Paladino, a Republican representing Queens District 19, gave a street press conference in front of a house in Bayside, which is among several in her district area affected by New York's local and state squatter rights laws, also known as adverse possession. Under the eye of police presence, in attendance were the owner of the house, which is occupied by squatters, other local city officials, community leaders, and a large crowd of concerned homeowners, some of whom affected by these laws. In her speech, Councilmember Paladino passionately addressed the crisis homeowners face when squatters take over their homes. Paladino demanded that the City Council and the state legislature address the disparity in property laws which protects squatters over property owners.
This is a situation that we're in, and it's called squatters. We are here in New York, between New York City and New York State. We all know how bad these laws are skewed. Was that a Freudian slip or what? Let's hear it. Towards tenants more than they are owners and landlords. Property owners are routinely stripped of their property rights while the progressive majority defends the bad tenants and the blatant squatters. This has come to a head here in District 19 in recent weeks. From the home in Douglaston Manor, where a former caretaker is refusing to vacate a property which he was never meant to own and turned it into his home, where he's renting out rooms as a bread and breakfast. We also know the house in Flushing, and that property owner was arrested for attempting to secure her own property from illegal squatters, from the very house that we're standing in front of tonight, which is Susan's house. Susan, where are you?
I'm here.
Susan is right here. This is her mother's home, which she inherited. Even worse, to make matters even worse, I think we were all stunned, absolutely stunned, to hear about the Manhattan woman who came home for 4 months in Spain to the apartment that she too inherited from her mother, to find 2 illegal immigrants in that apartment who beat her to a pulp, where her 19-year-old son found her stuffed in a duffel bag. Yes, we have reached a point where very serious decisions must be made.
Interestingly enough, through a curious legal loophole, New York's squatters' law gives the right to would-be trespassers to continue living in a property without the homeowner's consent and even claim legal residence as long as they state that they have been living there for only 30 days. Paladino addressed this loophole, calling it, quote, a weakness in the law.
It is important to remember, and this is very important, that the majority of cases of squatters are not people who simply fell on hard times or fell back a few months in their rent. These are people who see the weakness in the New York State and the New York City laws that puts the tenants / squatters ahead of you, the property owners. They can also be called scammers, because that's exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they are doing. We are currently witnessing an assault on the private property ownership, and that is one of the most fundamental rights we have as American citizens. All this is happening as the progressive politicians in Albany continue to push for what they are calling the Good Cause Eviction Bill, which was, that's right, let the people hear you. This bill the good cause eviction bill will further, will further erode private property rights in New York. You think we're at a bad place now? It can and will get worse. Even so-called mainstream Democrats representing this part of this very district have expressed support for this radical, destructive bill and have shown very little interest in protecting the small landlords and homeowners which they represent. I am very sad to say. And I have said it once, and I will say it 100 times. You need to know who you are voting for. You must know who these people and how they vote, because they will tell you one thing, and they will go and they will vote the complete opposite of what they are telling you. I know now. I'm in that pot of soup, and I see exactly what is going on. These issues have been made significantly worse by the illegal immigration crisis that's happening in this country right now.
New York lawmakers tried to change the squatters' law a decade ago but failed. Presently, because of this law, if you call the police on someone who moved into your home without permission, if they claim to be a tenant living there for 30 days, they cannot be arrested for trespassing. Instead, the owner has to take them to court to evict them. In such cases, property owners lose all of their owner rights, and to regain possession of their property, they must navigate New York's eviction laws and enter a long legal process that could surpass 2 years. At the press conference, we met a homeowner who has been in litigation for 7 years. While the litigation is in process, owners cannot change the locks on their properties, turn off the utilities, or remove the belongings of the squatters, and if they do so, they will be arrested by the police. Furthermore, homeowners must continue to pay property taxes and, in many cases, consume all utility costs and repairs while the squatters are living for free in their properties. Paladino further addressed the problems of this law, noting that, quote, now squatters are being taught how to use and abuse.
And they are being taught how to use and abuse these weak laws that we already have on the books. Now let me be clear. I do not agree with the arrest of any homeowner for changing their locks on their homes to keep illegal squatters out. It is necessary to do that. But what happens to the homeowner is they are charged with what is called illegal eviction. And that goes to show you how backwards our laws have become. The police do not, and I spoke to my police, especially in that particular precinct, they do not want to arrest the homeowner. But what they did was they went back to their legal department to find out. And their legal department said, you need to arrest her.
Screw them.
So they had to do it. They served her with a DAT, a desk appearance ticket, and she was out. But the fact remains, these are the laws on the books. It is not the NYPD's fault. It has come to our attention that these squatters are using legitimate realtors to sublet rooms within the property that they are squatting in. They enter the house illegally, remain or claim to be there for 30 days to establish the legal protections. Then they engage a legitimate real estate broker and they rent out parts of the house. That is darn right, it's illegal. But you know what? You cannot gain access.
Council Member Paladino is now trying to somehow remedy this law. She announced that she's drafting 2 pieces of legislation to address the squatter laws. When passed, the first bill would extend the period of tenancy rights within New York City from 30 days to 6 months. The second is a resolution calling upon the state legislature to pass and the governor to sign a bill recently filed by Assembly Member Jake Plummenkranz and State Senator Patricia Canzoneri Fitzpatrick. The bill will make it easier for a homeowner to remove a squatter from their property, as it states that a tenant does not include squatters. It also gives someone rights after 45 days and not 30 days as currently provided in the law. This bill would also allow police to intervene and make arrests instead of having the owner go through the lengthy court process.
This is why I am currently working on drafting and introducing legislation that would address the length of time for illegal squatters to develop rights to the property. Currently, the time frame is 30 days. It is known as the 30-day law. All it takes is for an illegal squatter to say, I have been here for 30 days. And you know what? He has no proof. No proof. There's no lease. There's no nothing. And you know what? The cops have got to leave him be, or her be. My legislation solution to change the amount of time for squatters. 30 days does not give a property owner enough time to go through the legal moves that they need to go through to get a person evicted. What I am looking to do right now is to give the homeowner up to 6 months so that they can get the squatter out of their home. We do have elected state officials that are looking into change these laws as well, which I'm happy to say. Handling these cases through civil courts do not work, and they know it. These are crimes of opportunity. Say it, crimes of opportunity. They see you leave your house, guess what? They find out you're gone for a month, they're moving in. This is a very scary thing we're facing here. And they will not be prosecuted because they come under the umbrella of tenants matter, you don't matter. And this is what the City Council has done this past year. I will continue to go to bat for each and every one of you. You are my constituents. This is where I grew up.
The press conference was also briefly addressed by Council Member Christy Marmorato and Paul Di Benedetto, Chair of Community Board 11, both of whom talked about the immediate need to take action to prevent squatters from taking over the homes of private citizens. Both speakers also expressed their full support for the 2 pieces of legislation Council Member Paladino is drafting to remedy New York's squatter law.
And we are going to see this thing all the way through.
Introduced only by her first name, Susan, was the homeowner of the house which is being occupied by squatters. With tears in her eyes, she thanked everyone for their support and then told her story of how the people who live in her house have been giving her problems for some years now by refusing to pay rent and evacuate the home even after she had sold it. Vickie Paladino, a Bayside native and a businesswoman, ran for office and was elected as council member for District 19 back in 2021. Since then, she has earned the love and the respect of her constituents, who admire her for her tenacity and strong commitment of keeping her promise to deliver change, transparency, and protect their interests. This was also evident by the large crowd who attended her press conference. Also known for her humble character, as soon as she arrived, she took the time to shake hands and speak with people in attendance. We also had the opportunity to have a one-on-one talk with Council Member Paladino.
Vickie, on this Greek Independence Day, you're fighting
for independence.
For independence,
yes.
For homeowners.
That's
and
right.
For New Yorkers.
That's right.
Briefly, just tell us, do you see a light in the tunnel in this situation?
Well, I hope my legislation is a simple enough piece of legislation, whereas I'm only asking to increase the 30 days to a more realistic 180 days, which is 6 months, to give the homeowner the right that they deserve, which is to their home. So if they want to evict a tenant or a squatter, they can. And if the squatter continues to stay, they could be charged with criminal charges. This is not something that should go through civil court. This is a criminal charge. When you don't pay your rent for 5, 6, 8 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, no bills. They live for free. You're paying their bills. That's a criminal offense. That's grand larceny. Right?
Of course. Now, Vickie, these laws that they are in place right now, where they allow the squatters to just walk in and the homeowners lose every right to kick them out. How many city council members have voted for these laws?
Okay. Well, there's 51 city council, and only 9 of us voted against it. So the body of the city council, 96% of the city council, voted in favor of everything you see now. Yep.
So people need to know who they're voting for.
That is correct. The key to changing the world is using your voice as your vote and getting out and exercise your right as a citizen of the United States and vote, vote, vote. More important of all is to know who you're voting for. Look up the history of the person that you're voting for. See if the way they voted for you aligns with the way you think and the way you feel. If they do not align with the way you think and you feel, don't vote for that candidate.
Do you think there's a possibility we can get rid of this squatter law?
No, the squatter law will always be on the books because there has got to be some sort of protection for the average person.
Yeah, but how about the protection of the homeowner?
No, listen. The squatter law was first put into effect because, remember, this is not about people who are down on their luck.
Right.
You know, when you rent a 2-family house or you like to extend the courtesy of, if you can't make it this month, we'll figure it out next month. But as far as squatters go now, squatters has taken that to the max. They cannot do this anymore. So your first question was, should squatters be outlawed?
No, my question was, how can you change this law so that the homeowner has some rights?
Well, that's my legislation. But to do better than that in this city right now and the way it's run will never happen.
Okay.
Will never happen.
Are you working on anything else? Or this is your priority right now?
Oh, my goodness. Am I working on anything else? Yes, I am. It has a lot to do with the illegal motor scooters, the bikes that you see all over. They have to be licensed and registered. Must be insured. And they must be able to follow the law of the road. And they're not. So that's a very big issue that we have. Quality of life, law and order is key. That's right now my 2 main issues.
Thank you, Vickie. Thank you. All the best.
Very much. Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.
You bet. I'll never stop fighting. Thank you.
What is the community board doing to inform the homeowners of this sad situation?
Community board, we're not legislators, we're civic people who get appointed to, the whole city has a community board. There's different ones for each area. So what we do is we're civic people who get appointed to come together and to do things to inform the public of what's going on in the city and to let them know changes that are happening, help assist them with 311 or with the different city agencies, but most of all to protect our quality of life.
Another homeowner who faced a similar situation also shared his story. He said it took him 3 years to get his home back.
I hope every single one here today can stand up and speak for ourselves. And thank you so much, Vickie Paladino, give us so great opportunity to share all the story, to speak up for us. I hope one day New York can be a better New York. Not today, not like today. Thank you, everybody.